North Korea is in the headlines, an unexpected president is in the White House, and Russia is spreading propaganda that will divide Americans and royal democratic governments around the world. The year is 1950. The poison fakery on social media, spread by Russian-controlled bots and cyber operatives, is new only in terms of the technology. Russian propaganda can be traced back to the years following World War II, when the Soviet Union launched the World Peace Appeal, and the start of a decades-long effort to influence public opinion and disguise hostile actions throughout the world. In the Russian construct, information warfare is not an activity limited to wartime. It is waged constantly in peacetime, according to a recently updated report by the NATO Defense College. Measured by recent cyber warfare, the Handbook of Russian Information Warfare finds Russia already considers itself to be in a state of war and is reaping unexpected benefits from Soviet campaigns targeting previous generations. 5 years after the nuclear obliteration of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, roughly 1 million Americans signed the Stockholm Peace Pledge, a door-to-door disinformation campaign that captured the hearts, if not the minds, of people everywhere. One of those partisans for peace was Roy M. Webb, a glass setter in the Nash Auto Body plant in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. The father of 5 children, including 3 sons of draft age, Webb signed a peace petition 2 weeks after the first Americans were killed in Korean combat. A news article was soon posted on a company bulletin board. Peace Group Acts, Demand U.S. Leave Korea, and the Milwaukee Journal responded with an angry editorial under the headline, Pledge for Treason. A few hours before the newspaper hit the streets, so did Roy Webb. Surrounded by a jeering mob inside the auto plant, the 55-year-old Webb was dragged down 4 flights of stairs and tossed onto the street, leaving him with a broken back. In Detroit that same day, the New York Times reported that a couple distributing communist pamphlets at the gate of the Chevrolet gear and axle plant was rescued by police today from a group of angry workmen. And a street corner newsstand whose owner refused to stop selling the Daily Worker was ordered closed by the Detroit Common Council. Across America, government leaders, clergy and peace advocates were joining the backlash against the communists and their Trojan Dove. The House Committee on Un-American Activities presaged the influence of Internet disinformation when it called the peace petitions the boldest and most extensive piece of psychological warfare ever conducted by any organization on a world scale. In a 1951 report, HUAC found propagandists, within or without the United States, have easy access to the American public. Communists and their co-conspirators are spearheading this movement in cities and communities throughout the United States, at meetings, on street corners, in shops, homes, schools and colleges, in the press, and on the radio, in fact, in every walk of life. Unless it is completely exposed, many may be deceived and ensnared. These were the formative years of the Cold War, when the U.S. was trying to contain communism abroad and capture it at home. It was also the start of what is now recognized as a constant and continuing information war by the Russian leadership. The Soviet Union has been tricking the West for almost 70 years, former KGB agent Stanislav Levchenko told a French magazine in 1981. There is in the West a factor of elementary naivete in Soviet leaders, in any case, are well aware of this and have used it for many years, from lies about Pakistani mosquitoes allegedly bred to spread disease in Afghanistan to phony policy letters from American presidents. Forged documents, and fraudulent Facebook accounts have become part of Russia's enduring reliance on desinformation to attack the United States and weaken its standing in the world. Everyone knows the Kremlin seeks to use information to deny, deceive and confuse, to sow seeds of doubt to provide cover for its manufactured war in eastern Ukraine, said U.S. Ambassador Geoffrey Pyatt. You could spend every hour of every day trying to bat down every lie, to the point where you don't achieve anything else. And that's exactly what the Kremlin wants. The State Department found the same motives behind the World Peace Appeal of the 1950s. As the Soviets tried to close their deficit in the nuclear arms race, peace petitions helped exploit America's ambivalence over the development and use of atomic weapons. By the fall of 1950, a small Hollywood film company confirmed that peace had become a dirty word when plans were cancelled for a movie about Hiawatha. As the New York Times reported, Monogram Studios feared that the picture might be regarded by some as communist peace propaganda because Hiawatha had tried to bring peace to the warring Indian tribes of his day. America's Red Scare was revving into high gear by the summer of 1950 and the start of Joseph McCarthy's crusade against communism. That when Senator Margaret Chase Smith, a Republican from Maine, asked whether this hysteria was actually helping the Russians achieve their propaganda aims against the United States. As an American, I am shocked at the way Republicans and Democrats alike are playing directly into the communist design of confuse, divide and conquer, Smith said on the Senate floor. As an American, I don't want a Democratic administration, whitewash, or cover up, any more than I want a Republican smear witch hunt. As an American, I want to see our nation recapture the strength and unity it once had when we fought the enemy instead of ourselves. John Sorensen is a writer from Castleton.